Have you ever wondered what business model is better, Amazon FBA or Shopify Dropshipping? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the pros and the cons to both, so stay tuned. What's up, champs? Welcome to today's video. I'm super excited to be breaking down Shopify dropshipping versus Amazon FBA. This is a question that I get asked quite frequently. What is the best business model for me? How much money do I need to start each model? What is the best one to scale? What is more long-term? I'm going to be answering all those questions, the pros and the cons to both. And for those that know me, I am a current FBA seller, so I'm going to try to be as non-biased as possible. Obviously, I do Amazon, but I know people have seen massive success with Shopify dropshipping. So there's pros and cons to both, and I'm just going to give you guys my honest opinion. And if you guys are enjoying, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. I have tons of content on this channel on how to build a successful online business through Amazon, and I'm really excited about this video, so let's just dive into it. Okay, so let's just dive into some of the cons with Amazon FBA to start off. The first and the biggest con, in my opinion, is you do not have access to the customer directly. So what I mean by that is you don't have their emails. You can't say certain things. Amazon wants to keep that customer within Amazon. They don't want you redirecting traffic to your own website. You can't really have direct contact with them. You can say certain things, but you can't say other things. Amazon kind of puts a halt to some of those things because they want the customer to stay within Amazon and they want that customer to trust Amazon. And so if there's shady things going on outside of it, people aren't going to want to shop on Amazon because they had a bad experience with a customer redirecting them to some scam or to some other website or blasting them with spam email. So that is a con. But I mean, on the flip side, it can be a pro because you have customers that trust Amazon, that know that Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world, and they go there shopping because they trust them and they know that if they don't get the product, they're going to get refunded. They know that if something does go wrong with a delivery, there's not going to be any questions and they're going to get their money back. If there's something that's wrong with the product, it's super easy to just return it through their entire system. When they order the product, they know that they're going to get it in 2 days. So those are some things that are huge pros, which I'll dive into more depth. But that's kind of the pro, and the con is you don't own the customers, but at the same time, these customers are loyal and they trust Amazon. So the second con with Amazon is you actually have to buy the inventory up front. You have to buy the inventory because it's not drop shipping. And for those that don't know what drop shipping is, basically someone buys the product from me, they pay me 20 bucks. Then I go and buy that product from someone else for $5 and I buy it directly from them, but instead of them shipping it to me, I have them ship it to the customer. So technically there's no upfront investment because you're not buying anything until you get an order. But I'm going to kind of explain how that's not always the case, which I'll dive into a little bit later. But that is a con with Amazon, is you do have to initially invest in inventory. And if that inventory doesn't sell, then you have to basically get rid of it, throw it away, take the loss, or put it on sale or try to sell it on like eBay or Poshmark or some other platforms to just get rid of the inventory so that you cut your losses to a minimum. So that's the second con, is you actually have to buy the inventory up front. But a pro to that is you actually own the asset. So once you buy it, you sell it, and then that's profit. So you own the asset, which can be a pro, but the con to that is you actually have to invest the money up front. So that's the second thing. The third con with Amazon is Amazon basically owns you. And what I mean by that is Amazon has certain guidelines, rules, restrictions that you can and can't do. So if you do something that crosses the line that is against their terms of service, they can go in and basically just shut your account down and you're going to basically not be able to sell. So the majority of Amazon sellers, 99.9% of all their revenue is coming from Amazon. So if all of a sudden one day their account gets suspended, there goes their business. So that is another con with Amazon, is if you aren't following the rules, then you have the potential to get suspended. But you don't have to worry about that if you just follow the rules. So, I mean, that can be a con for some that just want to make as much money as fast as possible. But for those that are actually trying to build a legitimate business, that's something that you don't need to be afraid of because you're actually following the rules of Amazon. So those are the 3 biggest cons with Amazon. Now let's talk about the 3 biggest cons with Shopify, and then we'll talk about the pros of both of them. So now with Shopify, the biggest con, in my opinion, is no one knows you exist. No one. You come to you create this website. I don't care how cool it is, what product you're offering. No one knows you exist unless you drive outside traffic. Okay, so you can have the coolest product, but if someone doesn't know to go to that website and purchase that product, you're not going to get any sales. So what you need to do is you need to run traffic through Facebook ads, Instagram ads, you have influencers, and things of that sort to actually get people to the store. So that's where another thing that's kind of like the second is a lot of people think that there's no initial investment up front. But what you don't understand is you have to buy the ads, you have to pay the influencer to post the product or to write a blog post about it or whatever. You have to actually invest that, and sometimes that can cost $500 to $1,000. So right there, you're almost even with Amazon. And I've talked to a lot of drop shippers, and they actually say the minimum startup is between $2,000 to $3,000 because you need to go in and test certain ad sets. You need to test this, make sure that this is going good, make sure this works, make sure this does, and this doesn't. And it's basically trial and error and seeing what is producing, what isn't. So that's another thing, is you have to invest some money in ads, in product photography, in things of that nature. So it's not necessarily a $0 startup. Okay, you need to have money to invest, and it's probably very close to the same amount of money that you need to invest with Amazon. So that is a con with Shopify that a lot of people don't really take into account. So that's the first con. The second con is the shipping. People want things now. They want instant gratification, and that's why people shop on Amazon, is because they can get it in 1 to 2 days. With Shopify, most of the time, it takes from 10 to 20 days. Now, there are some certain manufacturers that you can ship from the States and get it to them a little bit quicker, but that still hinders the customer because they want it now. They don't want to wait for it. And then what happens is, if they are waiting for it, it takes 2 weeks and they still haven't got it, you're going to get emails saying, hey, where's my product? I want a refund. Where's my product? Where's my product? And then when they get the product, it shows up in some Chinese packaging, and then they're super disappointed. So that's something that you also need to be aware of, is you're going to have customer complaints. And that's the third, and kind of the fourth one is you have to have customer support. People are going to be emailing you constantly, whereas Amazon, if there's a problem, they normally reach out to Amazon and Amazon solves it. Now, that's not always the case. You still have to answer some questions that customers have, but for me to do that per week, I get maybe like 7 emails max, and I'm shipping 6,000 orders per month. So 7 emails answering questions is nothing compared to what you're going to get. If you had 6,000 Shopify dropshipping orders, you're going to have customer complaints, customer returns, and you're going to have to basically deal with the customers yourself. Okay, so that's a huge con, is it's going to take you a lot of time to do that. Another con along with that is you actually have to fulfill the orders. So when someone does order, yes, you don't have the inventory at your house, but you still have to go in and enter in and say, okay, I'm buying this, I'm shipping it to this. And there are systems that automate it. You can get a virtual assistant to do it for you or hire an employee, but that still takes time. And that's another investment of paying an employee or doing it yourself, spending time, customer support, and actually sending the product. So if you have 100 orders a day, imagine going click, 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 send. There's one order. Click, 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 send. So it takes some time, okay? Whereas Amazon, this is a pro to Amazon. Amazon does all the fulfillment. As soon as someone orders it, you don't have to worry. You don't have to lift a finger. they do all the shipping, they prep it, they ship it, and they get it to them in 1 to 2 days. So that's huge, and that's a huge pro that Amazon has over Shopify dropshipping. So those are a few of the cons that I see with Shopify dropshipping, and I'm sure that there's a lot more. And the same goes for Amazon FBA. There's probably some other cons, but those are the main ones. Another thing that I do want to touch on, Shopify, no one knows that you exist, and so they don't trust you, and so that when they do land on that page, they're a little hesitant to purchase. They have to upload their credit card, they have to pull out their wallet and actually make a purchase, whereas on Amazon, they have all the credit cards locked and loaded, ready to purchase, and they could literally just go, they see a product, and it's like buy now, and it's buy now, and you swipe, and boom, you purchased it. So the buying process is a lot easier with Amazon for the customer because they already have the account, they already know, they've already shopped on Amazon before, so they're not trying to learn a new platform or a new payment service. They already have it all locked and loaded. So that's another pro with Amazon, and that's another con with Shopify dropshipping. So now let's talk about some of the pros with Shopify dropshipping. One of the pros is you aren't storing the inventory, you aren't buying the inventory up front, and you don't have to deal with that, whereas Amazon you do. So that's a pro with Shopify dropshipping. Another thing is you can scale really quick with Shopify dropshipping because you don't need to place another order of inventory and wait 30 days for more inventory, because obviously inventory, if you don't have the inventory to sell, you can't scale. But with Shopify, you don't need to buy that inventory up front, and you can just scale your ads and spend thousands of dollars per day on ads, and the manufacturer is going to have that inventory because you're buying directly from the manufacturer and they're shipping out the orders. So that's another, that's a pro with Shopify dropshipping, is you don't have that inventory, you don't have to manage inventory because you're buying it from the supplier and they're managing it for you. So that is a huge pro, in my opinion, with Shopify. A third pro with Shopify is you own the customer. You have access to their email, you have access to their information, so that when you do go to launch another product, let's say, you can retarget them with emails, and you can drive traffic from all the emails that you collected from the past purchases. And if they've already bought from your website, they're confident in you, and they'll more likely buy again. And so that's another huge pro with Shopify, is you can own the customer, you have access to them, and that's kind of the fourth thing, is no one's going to shut you down. Amazon can shut you down, but with Shopify, no one can really say you're doing things wrong, you can't do this, you can't do that, because you actually own the site, you own the customers, and you have access to them for whatever you want. So those are some of the biggest pros with Shopify dropshipping. Now let's talk about Amazon FBA, some of the biggest pros in my opinion. I mentioned one, Amazon does the fulfillment. You can get orders in 1 to 2 days. I mean, that's ridiculous. Customers nowadays want it now, and that makes it hard for drop shippers, because everyone is kind of trained, oh no, I want my orders within 1 to 3 days, I don't want to wait for it. And so that's a huge con with drop shipping. But with Amazon, you can literally order it, and sometimes it will even arrive in that same day. So that's huge. That's one of the biggest pros. The second one is you have access to Amazon's marketplace. You have millions of shoppers every single day. I mean, Amazon's shipping millions of units every single day because there's so many shoppers, and those shoppers trust Amazon. They're already going, and it's like a big search platform. So like when you go to Google and you search a question or you search for something, it's the same thing with Amazon. People are going to Amazon with the intent to buy. And so when someone goes in and searches a product, that's exactly what they're looking for, and then they purchase the product. You aren't convincing them to buy the product. Whereas Shopify dropshipping, this is another con, is you're basically running cool ads trying to get them to buy. You don't know if they want that product or not. You're just running ads at their face and basically convincing them, hey, this is the best, coolest product. You need this. This is why you need it. This is how it's going to help you. And you don't know whether they need it or not. But it's more of an impulse buy, and they buy it. Whereas Amazon, yes, it can be an impulse buy, but they're actually going and searching for a specific product. So that's a huge pro in my opinion. is you don't have to drive outside traffic. I mean, you can, and it's great to drive outside traffic, but Amazon already has a massive marketplace, and that's kind of the third thing is the customers trust the marketplace. They have the credit cards locked and loaded, ready to purchase, so that when they do purchase, they don't have to second guess, because in that time of them entering in their credit card information, their shipping address, they're thinking, okay, is this worth it? Whereas Amazon, they don't really have the time to think. It's already in the account, and they just hit purchase and boom, it ships. Okay, so that's another huge pro in my opinion with Amazon. The second, I guess the last thing, a big huge pro with Amazon for me is the scalability and also the resources and leveraging Amazon, the largest company in the world. So yes, it's like I was saying, with scaling with Shopify, you don't have to buy the inventory up front, but if you can buy all the inventory up front and you have that inventory, you can scale really quick and see really incredible results. It just blows my mind. But what's nice is you aren't bottlenecked because you don't have enough employees or you don't have a big enough warehouse, because you're leveraging Amazon's warehouse, you're leveraging their system, their marketplace, everything. And that's another huge pro with Amazon that I just absolutely love. It's less stress on me because Amazon is doing the heavy lifting for me. They've just built this massive infrastructure that I'm taking advantage of, and it's a great way to build an online business. So now I just went through like a ton of different things. There's tons of pros, there's tons of cons with Amazon, but it's the same thing with Shopify dropshipping. And my, I guess, message to you is you just need to pick one and you need to get really, really, really good at it. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to try this for, let's say, a month and see if I do good, and if I don't, then I'm going to do the other business model. That's not really how it works. I mean, that's kind of what I did, is I was dabbling in a little bit of both. I was doing Shopify dropshipping, and I found it really, really difficult. And I think I'm pretty smart, but I could not figure it out. It was super, super difficult. Now, other people pick it up really quick and they just see massive results. So in my situation, doing them both, I've seen way, way more success with Amazon. And that's why I still sell on Amazon, and that's why I teach about Amazon, is because I know that I can do it, and I've seen a bunch of other people do it as well. So that's why I teach it. But the same thing with Shopify. You just need to pick what you want to do, what is the best business model for you. Both require an initial upfront investment. You can't just start a business for free. There's no such thing as starting a business for free. You need to invest, and that's just the reality of business. So have those things in mind when you go to whether you start Amazon or you start Shopify dropshipping. And I would highly recommend that if you are just figuring out about both business models, to do a little bit of research and don't just try to do it on your own. I know there's tons of content where, yeah, you could go and piece the content together, but I would highly recommend to get a mentor, take a course to actually understand the steps on how to do Shopify dropshipping or how to do Amazon FBA. It just makes it a whole lot easier, and you save a lot of money in the long run, even though you may not think that's the case, but that's just the reality of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. I'm uploading weekly videos on how to sell on Amazon. So if this is your first time to the channel and you guys are interested, make sure to check out all the videos, check out the links down below, join the free Facebook group. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below which one you prefer, maybe some cons that I didn't mention, some of the pros that I didn't mention for both Shopify and Amazon FBA. So thank you so much, and we will see you in the next video.